Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. You can already tell by the title, but I had my baby, so I didn't film my labor and delivery or anything. It's just something that I didn't film. It was really fast, so even if I wanted to, it would have been like really crazy and hectic and everything, and I was in no shape or like state of mind. No, like there was no way for me to film anyway, like myself. So I did want to sit down though and do a labor and delivery recap, like a little labor and delivery story, and introduce you guys to the baby, because a lot of you guys subscribed and joined this little family when I was pregnant with him, and I found out that I was pregnant with him, and he's obviously a new member of the family and going to be in my vlogs and my videos. So yeah, I wanted to also recap my labor and delivery experience for the second time around. So he was born June 8th, 2023 at 7:46 in the morning, and he is and was such a healthy baby, thank goodness. So we are so grateful and blessed. But anyway, let's rewind a little bit. I went into my 38-week appointment. I was actually 38 weeks and 5 days on June 2nd. And excuse me, prior to that appointment, I had been having like Braxton Hicks. I was having a lot of labor signs for like a week already at that point, or like a week and a half. Like if you look up signs of labor, I don't want to go into too much detail, but that's what I was having and experiencing. So I was having like Braxton Hicks. I was extremely tired, with random bursts of energy, like nesting type energy. I was going to the bathroom a lot, couldn't really sleep at nighttime, like I was just so uncomfortable, but that's also like normal pregnancy. So at that point I was feeling all of that stuff, and I definitely thought I was dilated. So I went into my 38-week appointment, and I had my doctor check me, and I was 0 centimeters dilated. We scheduled my induction that day. I don't know if this is everywhere, because I didn't do this when I was pregnant with Mason, but I also delivered at a different hospital with like different doctors and everything for him. I think, you know, this time around with COVID and everything changing, they might do it a little bit differently. I'm not sure. But at my 38-week appointment, we scheduled my induction just in case I did not go into labor naturally on my own. They want to make sure that they have it in their calendar booked, and they can hopefully staff accordingly. And then I still was told that I had to call the day of my induction to just make sure that I could in fact go in to the hospital to be induced, that they had staff and they were ready for me. So that was scheduled for the 21st of June, which I would be like 41 and a half weeks, I think, because I was due June 11th, so I would be 10 days overdue. So I was not trying to do that. But I did not feel like I was going to go that long, but I was not trying to go that far over, especially in the summertime being pregnant, like it's uncomfortable. So then I had another appointment, because at that point at 36 weeks, you go every week until you deliver. So I went for my 39-week appointment that Wednesday. I was 39 weeks and 3 days. And I saw my other doctor, and she asked if I wanted to be checked. And I didn't know, because I had just been feeling the same in terms of like Braxton Hicks and all those like labor signs. But you know, some time had gone on since the last time I was checked, so we decided, let's just check me anyway, and if I am dilated, she would sweep my membranes. And sure enough, I was 2 to 3 centimeters dilated when she checked me. And then, so she swept my membranes, and then I was 3 centimeters dilated, basically. So that was exciting. So I left that day, and I was feeling just extremely crampy, like period cramps, which is like uncomfortable. And I just, in me, I felt that was going to be like the day that I went into labor. I was gonna have him the next day, or like Friday, like within like the next day or two. Like I knew I was gonna have him. So I went and picked up Mason. He actually had an appointment that day, and I canceled that appointment because I was just uncomfortable and like I couldn't do it. And I also had stuff that I had to get done before the baby came that I knew if, you know, I was going to go into labor, I wanted this stuff done. So I canceled that appointment. We came home. I got everything clean that I wanted to clean. I threw everything in our hospital bags. And at that time, Brandon and I were sharing one car because his car, his transmission blew. So once I was done cleaning and packing up everything, we actually headed in the car and headed over there to Brandon's job because I did not want to go into labor and be in active labor at my house with Brandon not here, because the hospital is closer to where he works anyway, and I wouldn't be driving myself. I want him to drive me because we're sharing the one car. So I just went over there and we hung out with him until he finished work and his business closed. And that whole time, which was about 4 hours, I want to say, 3 or 4 hours, I was just crampy. He finished work. We picked up a pizza because I was not cooking. There was no way I was going to cook and dirty the house. We actually watched like an hour or an hour and a half of the Avatar movie that came out on HBO. I think that's where it came out on. And we paused it because I was like, I'm going upstairs to shower, like my back is killing me. I'm just really feeling crampy. Also during that whole time, like since midway of when I started cleaning, I started timing my contractions, and several times the app told me to get ready to go to the hospital. So just putting that out there, they were like they were very inconsistent, like 3 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart, 5 minutes apart, 12 minutes apart, 20 minutes apart. So they were still inconsistent and like random. So I went upstairs, took the shower. That relieved like a lot of the discomfort that I was having. And we went to bed, and I went to bed at about 12:30, I want to say, so a little past midnight. And then I woke up, you guys, at about 3 or 3:30 in the morning, and I was in pain. So I had one contraction wake me up, and I was like, okay, that was a little painful. And then another one like very shortly after that one, where I was like, okay, that was close and that hurt, like let me get up. So I got up, I went into the bathroom, and I was like holding the counter and swaying back and forth and timing my contractions because they were coming pretty consistently, like every 4 to 6 minutes, if that, like more so like 4 to 5 minutes. And I went to the bathroom, like I peed, and this might be TMI, but I wiped myself and there was blood, which usually blood is like not a good sign, you know, but my membranes were swept earlier that day, so I didn't know like if that's what it was or what. But with Mason, I went in to be induced, so I didn't go into labor naturally on my own, really. With Mason, they gave me Cervidil, and then like my contractions just started there, but like this time I was at home and wasn't having any of that. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure. So I called my doctor, or I called like my doctor's office, and the nurse had my doctor call me, and he was like, all right, if you want to come on in, like come on in, and we'll check you and everything like that. So we got Mason up, got him changed, got us like ourselves changed, and we headed to the hospital. So the hospital from us is like 40 minutes away. So I didn't want to wait too long anyway, because with Mason, I was like, my labor was very quick. and I'm not trying to have this baby in the car. So, and we called Brandon's parents to tell them, and then his dad came to the hospital to pick up Mason. So we drove to the hospital. We were waiting for his dad for a few minutes. His dad came, got him, like 5 minutes we were waiting. And you guys, the person to like check us into the hospital, like at registration, they were in the bathroom. So there was just like a security guard at the front desk. And you guys, I don't know how long went by. It was probably like 20 minutes. The person never came out of the bathroom, I don't think. Like, so the guy was just like, oh, I'll check you in, like, if you want. So I was kind of irritated because I was having contractions. They were every like 3 or 4 minutes at this point. And I was like, of course, I go into labor and no one's here to check me in. Like, and then the guy just randomly says, like, oh, I'll check you in. Like, you couldn't have done this, 20 minutes ago. Like, I'm obviously in pain, and I was shaking. Like, I was going back and forth and everything. But so we got we checked in through registration. Hello. And we went upstairs to triage, to labor and delivery, and they checked me, and I was like 5 to 6 centimeters, basically 6. Oh, I forgot to say, we also called my mom when the doctor told me like to come on in, because my mom lives like an hour and a half to 2 hours away. It's more like an hour and like a half to an hour and like 40 minutes away from the hospital. But then it's also like 4 o'clock in the morning. She doesn't like driving in the dark, basically. So we called her and she was on her way. When we got upstairs to triage, it was 5:05. So they checked me, I was 5 to 6 centimeters, and then they rolled us over into the room where I would be laboring and delivering the baby. And I remember saying to the nurses, or the nurse said, how, you have another baby at home, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, how long was his labor? And I said, oh, very quick, like 6 hours, and he was out. She's like, oh, well, hopefully this one like will give you a little bit more time. And I was like, I don't want more time. Like, I'm in pain. I want the baby out. And I was like, I doubt it. Like, he's coming quick. And sure enough, you guys, I told you we got into triage 5:05 a.m. and I was laboring. I was gripping the nurse's hand, the handlebars, like the side bars on the hospital bed. I was screaming, and then at 7:46 I had a little baby, and he was so tiny, but they were like, that's a big baby. He was 8 pounds, 6 ounces, and 21.5 inches long. And he was born that like next day after I had my checkup and everything. So that Thursday I had him in the morning, and it was just insane. Like, I can't believe, and I couldn't believe how fast it was. I did not get an epidural again this time, completely natural. And even if I wanted an epidural, the nurse was like, if you do want one, just so you know, like, you have to sit still. And I was like, well, there goes my epidural, because there's no way I'm sitting still. I was literally like on my back, and I was just like gripping the handlebar. I'll insert a picture here that Brandon took, which I didn't even know he took, but it's so funny. And I was just screaming. Like, they tell you, like, breathe and breathe. I am not a breather. With Mason, I was on all fours on the hospital floor. Like, I know, gross, but that's what was comfortable for me. And just screaming. This time around, I was in the bed, so I did a lot better. I didn't have to get on the floor. Like, I was able to stay in the bed. And I was breathing a lot more, so I did do better, but it's still like, But the nurse was just like, control it, you got it. She was like, you're doing amazing. Like, I had very good nurses. I did the last time too, but this time, like, I had nurses again that I loved. And I was breathing a lot more. I learned like this little trick I saw on TikTok, that if you are in labor and you are having contractions, you're in pain, to like grab like a comb and like squeeze it, and it helps relieve the pain and the tension, and that worked. We left our bags, you guys, in the car because like I was just like, we don't have time for this, like I'm in pain, we need to go. So I didn't have my fan, which I packed a little mini fan because last time around I was really hot, and this time around I was like, let me pack a fan, it'll help me in labor. Left it in the car, and sure enough, I was dying. I was like throwing my hair up in a ponytail or in a bun, don't even know what it looked like, and like just pouring ice chips, like dropping ice chips like down my hospital gown and chewing them and everything. Like I was so thirsty and hot. And I do want to say, I didn't say this yet, but he was born sunny side up. So I guess when babies are born, they're born with their face like facing the ground, and then like the back of their head is facing the ceiling. So when I was pushing, I felt like I was gonna tear, you guys, like all the way to my butthole. But I didn't tear this time around, which was amazing. With Mason, I tore on the outside and the inside, which apparently the outside is rare. So this time around I didn't tear at all, which I'm really surprised, because I literally felt like I was gonna tear it in my butt. Like it was, the pressure was insane, and I literally, like I didn't wanna stop pushing because then he would go back in, but I didn't wanna keep pushing because it was so like painful and uncomfortable. So I guess that makes like it even harder, the pushing and the laboring, because of the way that his face, like he was positioned and facing. And I was having a lot of back labor. Like I just remember saying my back is killing me. The nurse had me roll over like on my side at one point, and that was really uncomfortable, but it was just even more uncomfortable to move back onto my back. So it was like, I didn't stay in that position for very long, but I also didn't really rush to get back onto my back at all. So the recovery this time around was a lot easier, I want to say, because of the fact like I didn't tear. But you know, it was still hard in the sense that I do have a 4-year-old that I have to now entertain and take care of and everything, because you know, the last time around I could just relax, sleep when the baby slept, everything. But this time around, you know, I do have a child I have to take care of, obviously. So it was not hard, but it was just like, that was like the only challenging aspect, really. Like physically I felt great, everything. My first postpartum shower was amazing, which I was jealous because everyone always says your first postpartum shower is amazing, and with Mason it just wasn't. Like I felt like I was dying when the water touched me. Again, I think that's because of me tearing in the 2 places that I did, but since I did it this time, I think that that's like why it was so comfortable, because nothing was hurting. Everything was going great. So far, everything's been going great as well, like breastfeeding. He latched on right away once he was born, and he nursed for 40 minutes. Or 45 minutes, so he did really well, and he's continuously doing well. So we're just really blessed and really grateful that we have a little healthy baby. And now he is a growing boy. He is like a month and a half old, so some time has gone on since I filmed this video, which is a little why I'm like all over the place in terms of telling you like things out of order and backtracking. But it's just real that way too. Like this is my real life, like it's not a scripted video. So I was going to film like a name reveal video, and I wanted to make something really cutesy and everything, but I just didn't get around to it. So I figured I would just introduce him in this video because I was going to show you him anyway and reveal his name to you guys. So this is the little baby. He's a little mad because he was trying to finish eating. So I'll finish after. But this is him, you guys. He is so cute and adorable. And a big boy, right? And his name, because we've not announced it yet online to YouTube, is Luca, L-U-C-A. It means bringer of light. and it's very special to us, and we just love the name, and we love him, right, my little Luca? Are you content now? You're not hungry anymore? He is the most special little baby and little boy, and we could not be more blessed and happy and thankful and grateful. Mason loves being a big brother. He has adjusted better than I imagined. He is doing incredible. I will insert a little clip of when he met Luca for the first time.
Hi.
Say hi, Luca.
Hi, Luca.
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world.
Aww. He knows you're talking to him.
As well, because that was so precious. He, like, the first thing he does in the morning is, like, greets Luca. He gives him kisses and hugs. He tells him all day, every day, how much he loves him and just that he's adorable and everything. So they're gonna have a really good bond, and I just can't wait to watch the two of them grow up. I think that wraps up today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for your constant support over, you know, the last almost year, because, you know, it's been a long time. And now you guys have met little baby Luca, and I can say his name in the videos and show you guys him in the vlogs and everything, which I do have a vlog going up on Friday. So this is going up today, Tuesday. I have another vlog going up on Friday, and I think that's gonna be like my uploading schedule every Tuesday and Friday. So stay tuned, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one, or we will see you in the next one. All right, thanks so much for watching.